Good morning. Today is officially day 1 of homeschooling Ellie. We are just doing like a practice trial. So I found a sample online from a curriculum that a friend had shared with me. And before going forward and like purchasing it, not that it was like expensive, but I just wanted to like try it out. I just printed out the sample. It's a 4-day week curriculum that includes language arts, science, some art, and then also some math. I have done a lot of research, maybe too much to the point where I've overwhelmed myself, but I do feel like I'm confident in the math curriculum that I picked out. I picked out Math with Confidence. I already ordered it off of Thrift Books, and so it should be coming soon. Obviously, we don't need to start school until August, but I would like to kind of ease our way into it. I also got some other workbooks off of Book Outlet. I'll explain more about it later. Right now I'm gonna finish getting ready because we're already having like a late start. Luckily Wolfie is still asleep, which is great. I think it's because last night he did wake up to eat only one time, so that's not too bad, but he seems very tired. Like, he doesn't seem like he wants to get up at all. So I'm just gonna take advantage of this time that I have right now. I just finished my skincare, so I'm gonna get dressed and ready for the day. Alright, the boy is now awake, so let's go get him. Can you see him? He's like sitting up. I feel like we're having such a late start. It's already 9 o'clock and normally we would be already finished with breakfast by now and we would already be like starting the homeschool part, but I think we're just gonna go with it. There's no other choice. So we'll have breakfast and then I'll do kind of like the circle time activity with Ellie. I'm waiting for my pot to boil, so let me just show you kind of like the setup that I currently have right now. So this is the curriculum that we're following just for this week as like a trial run, just an easing into what homeschool is going to be like, and just to give me an idea of how I can go about the schedule throughout the day. So this is the sample. It's from a curriculum called Branches. This week is focusing on the sun and the moon. I also did like my own prep work. So let me just show you kind of like what I have. The first one is just like the numbers 1 through 100. I also have our phone number and then the days of the week. And I also did the days of the week in Tagalog so that we can learn those together. And then we also have some theme related sight words. Again, I did both in English and in Tagalog for her. Just like 4 simple sight words for her to learn in Tagalog. This is a little like circular calendar that I found at, I believe it was either Goodwill or Savers. We have her Love Every weather board or calendar board. I think that's what they call it. I do have this bookshelf here. I had 2, but the lower one actually fell, so I need to reattach it with some stronger screws. But basically what I'm planning to put here are the books that are related to whatever theme we're having this week. So this week it's the sun and the moon, and these are the 2 books that we currently own that are related to the moon. I unfortunately don't have any sun ones. So this is Hina. This is by Gabrielle Ahulii. This book is called Kitten's First Full Moon. This is a Kevin Hanks book. These are my 2 moon related books. I do have some books from the library that I have on hold, so I'll be picking those up hopefully today. On her chalkboard, I have "My name is Michelle" so that she can copy her name. She did already come over to the board this morning and try it out herself without me prompting her, without me giving her any kind of instructions on what to do. So that's good. You can see that she didn't really write the letters fully from like top to bottom. She kind of like went along the midline, but that is something that we are going to be reinforcing with her. These are the vocabulary words that came with the branches curriculum. Obviously, I think like these 3 are way more advanced for her. But we will cover like what they mean. And then sun and moon are the ones that we're gonna be focusing on in terms of like handwriting and copy work. I also have this spelling sight word toy from, I think this is a Melissa and Doug toy. I found this actually at Home Goods. It comes with 8 or 7 of these like cards, and they're double-sided. So there's a bunch of words on there and then all of these letters, but they did have both the sun and the moon. I pulled it out because I knew it would be helpful just for this week's lesson. And then I actually worked on my own. I'm calling it morning basket, but I mean, it'll just be part of like our morning routine for her to practice. I printed out the planets. So what I'm gonna have her do is just cut them out and put them in order of the solar system, and then more sight words for her. And then these ones here are some counting cards. I think if I had printed them out like on a thicker cardstock paper, I would have just like cut them out. But since it's just on my regular printer paper, I put it in these sleeves so that she can either use like Play-Doh or a bead, or, you know, she can go in with her dry erase marker. And so I have these cards going up to 20. And then this one here is just an alphabet one. I have it printed in lowercase and in uppercase. I need to cut out either one or the other so that she can match the letters with like the lowercase and the uppercase. So those are the things that I worked on for her, that I made for her separately. Wolfie is also gonna have some oatmeal with us. I did separate his out before I put any of like the brown sugar in, so his just has cinnamon. And it's been sitting out for a while to cool down, so I think it's ready for him to eat. This bowl here is not for Ellie. This is actually for my husband. It's kind of like a comical how small it is, but this is how much food he actually will eat in the morning during the week. Anything more than this and it'll go to waste, and I will be upset. So I always ask him in the morning, are you hungry or not? Like, do you want me to give you food or are you good? And if he says yes, I give him this much, because that is actually what he will eat. 9:45 and I'm finally serving up myself a bowl of breakfast. Kids already had their breakfast, so now it's time to eat. What letter does Monday start with? N. What are these? Numbers. Numbers from 1 to, do you know what number this one is? That's 100. 100 says 100. So we're gonna start practicing counting from 1 to 100. Okay? 18, 19, 20. What's this one? 21. 21, 29, 20, 30. 30. And then what's this one? 31. 31, 32. Almost there, look. 91. 91. 92. 92. 93. 93. 98. 99. 99. And what comes after 99? Look. 100. 100. That's a lot. That costs money. These are the days of the week. And Mommy put them here in English. And then do you know what language this is? Yeah. What language is that? It's Tagalog. We're going to learn it in English and Tagalog. So let's start from Sunday. Sunday is Lingo. Sunday is Lingo. Monday is Lunes. Monday, Lunes. Tuesday, Martes. Tuesday, Martes. Wednesday, Miércoles. Wednesday, Miércoles. Thursday, Jueves. Thursday, Jueves. Jueves. Okay, do your second E, just like the other one. Did you have a good time doing circle time? Yeah. What did you like about it? I like
The planets.
The planets. All right, let's go to the grocery store, okay?
Okay.
So we are back from going around the city doing our errands. We're just gonna have some leftover pasta for lunch. Matt is currently putting Wolfie down for his nap because he was already pretty cranky. So that lines up pretty well because it's actually already about to be quiet time. Of course, like while I'm getting my lunch together, I remembered that I haven't put the groceries away yet. So I'm like trying to do that at the same time. Okay, let's eat. Hello, back in the kitchen. We just finished having lunch. It was a very quick lunch because quiet time was already like coming up, so I didn't want to spend too much time on her like dilly-dallying during lunchtime. She definitely has this problem with like focusing on just the task at hand, which is eating. We read a story while she was having lunch and it worked out fine. And now she's upstairs, she's having her quiet time. I have the rest of the groceries that I need to put away, so that's what I'm gonna do right now. While I'm putting my stuff away, I figured I might as well give you like an update on how things are going so far. We're literally only like halfway through the day. I haven't even done any of like the activities with her other than just like reading her books and like going over our vocabulary words and what they mean. Because like I said, we kind of started the day a little bit late. But in terms of the lessons so far, I do like the themed aspect of it. However, I feel like some of the facts that she provided are just like a little too advanced for Ellie to grasp the concept of it, which I kind of already suspected when I was going through the lessons last week. I could already kind of tell that they were really extensive facts, and while I know that I could try to explain it to her better, I feel like there's just too many things that I would have to break down and explain to her like what this part means and what this part means and what this part means and then like the whole thing together. I just wish there was a more like guided, extensive explanation of each thing. She does give a list of books that are related to the solar system and the sun and the moon and the stars. And so I did put some books on hold and we picked them up from the library today. And we did read one of the books that was about the sun, and I felt like that was a little more helpful. I think she picked a good book to recommend in terms of facts about the sun that are at the age level that Ellie could understand. If I didn't want to move forward with this particular curriculum, I can see how I could still implement the same type of strategy of picking a subject and just getting books within that age limit for Ellie, and then picking crafts and science projects, sight words or vocabulary words for her to work off of. Okay, last thing to put away, bananas. We go through so many bananas. Okay, so groceries are put away, dishes are put away, Ellie's in quiet time and Wolfie's in a nap, so I'm gonna take this time to rest. Actually, let me show you the library books that I picked up. Okay, so let's go over some of the books that I picked up from the library. Some of these are on that list that was provided from the branches curriculum, and some of them are ones that I just searched in the library website to find any books for Ellie's age group that revolved around the sun or the moon. So this is one of the first books that is on the list. This is Sun, 1 in a Billion. And this one's really good. I feel like it really does a good job of explaining what the sun is, what it does for us, and also like just important facts about it. And it does it in a really good way that is not too complicated or like too advanced for Ellie to understand. And then I picked up Eric Carle, Where is the Sun? I've never read this book before, but it looks like it's a really good book in terms of like beginning reading. There is questions on the back of the book to ask the reader as well. The next book is another book that was on the list. This is The Boy Whose Head Was Filled with Stars, A Life of Edwin Hubble. This is by Isabel Marinoff. The illustrations are really nice and beautiful. There's like a lot of like foiling that's going on, which is really pretty. This next one is one that I just searched up on the library website. This is called Sun and Moon Have a Tea Party. And then this last one is another book that was on the list that was provided. This is Ada and the Galaxies. So far, she enjoyed the circle time. Hopefully, as I like keep repeating these same things, she'll just start to remember those things, like the days of the week and her phone number especially. I realized that I didn't do a printout for the months of the year. The months of the year are still on our like circular calendar, but it's not the full name. It's just like a little abbreviation. So I need to print that out so that we can go over those together as well. I do think I should be incorporating like a letter of the week that we're focusing on. And she's pretty good with like all of her letters already, like understanding the sounds of all the letters, but I feel like I want to just go through each and every letter just to be sure that she knows them all. And I do know that there are some that she like mixes up, like M and N get mixed up a lot of times. I'm definitely the type of person who needs a curriculum because I'm obviously not a teacher, so I don't know like what points to talk about. I don't know the right thing to say, so I need major direction in that part. I can already tell from day one that I don't think I'm going to be purchasing this curriculum just because I feel like it's not as extensive. I think they have great ideas of activities to do, but because it's something that's like not targeted towards just kindergartners or like by each level, that part is where it gets hard because like I don't know what is going to be good for her level and what is going to be too advanced. We're going to continue through it though, and I'm probably just going to add in my own kind of thing to see how it works with her if she likes it. But yeah, we'll be back later when we do our galaxy dough and our orbit model, but I'm going to use the rest of this time to relax. Okay, so we're currently working on the galaxy dough. A little bit of a snafu. We don't have black food coloring, so I put blue, but it's not really like mixing well. I don't know if I need to put more or if I didn't put it in correctly or what. Also, it asked for half a cup of salt, and the only salt that I had was kosher salt. So again, I just don't know if all of these things make a difference. But yeah, it's not really like mixing to be like one full color. Maybe I'll add like a little bit more food coloring to see if it makes a difference. And it also said to mix it with a stand mixer, and I don't have one of those. So I was like literally just stirring it myself with a spoon in the bowl. And yeah, so now I feel like it didn't come out as well as it could have if I had a stand mixer or if I had the correct salt, or I don't know. But at least still playing with it, so it's fine. Hello, happy Tuesday. It is already the evening and I'm kind of just like going over more curriculum stuff. I'm just doing more research. I found another website that someone had suggested for some history and science curriculum, so I'm just like checking it out. But I wanted to take a minute to just kind of go over how today went in terms of homeschooling. We had a couple of things that we didn't get to do yesterday, so we did them today. And luckily this morning we woke up on time, like earlier, and that definitely worked in our favor. We were pretty much done with all of our lessons for the day by like 10 o'clock. So based on how today went, I would say one of the main things that I learned is that we definitely need to take breaks. For Ellie, I know that she is young and her attention span is like so short, but when we are going through our lessons, I didn't really realize while we were doing it that we were just kind of like going one after the other, and I noticed that she would just kind of like run off, go into a different room and like try to do something else and distract herself with other things that weren't related to like the lesson. So because of that, I definitely had to take a couple of breaks with her. I think we took maybe like 2 15-minute breaks from the time that we started, which was like at 9 o'clock all the way up until like 10 o'clock. We did get through the whole lesson plan, which is the goal. So we did our orbit model and she was able to kind of like see what that word actually means, like in like a visual way. And we also read one of the storybooks about Edwin Hubble. While I was reading that book to her, I had her add some star stickers to her orbit model. So I just had her count out 20 star stickers and then she put them on her little craft. We also did the math unit that was for today's lesson, which was graphs, which I think it went okay, but I do think it was just a little bit like over her head. Like it was a little too much, especially because we're like working with numbers that are over 100. I think for her, she's still learning 1 through 100. So for her to hear that there's like numbers after that, I think it just kind of like mixed her up. So I was trying to kind of show to her how to graph things in a way that wasn't so overwhelming. I would ask her like which one has like the least and which one has the most. And again, I think those questions, like throwing those questions out at her, she was kind of like, I don't know like what you want me to do with those. So I think that one was like a little bit too advanced for kindergarten. I think I still need to teach her most and least at a smaller level. Between like 1 and 10, you know, she's still not really grasping the concept of like which one has the most and which one has the least. When I am like throwing out numbers of like 274, like that's too much. And then for our handwriting lesson for today, it was supposed to be copy work of the letter of the word moon. I have a writing tablet that I got from the dollar store, and I wrote her name as well as like 3 other words, and I think I messed up there because I think I gave her like too much on one page. And again, I think I've just been like overwhelming her with multiple things, and then like not having a break in between was kind of just like a little too much. So instead of doing that, I switched it over to a different worksheet from another like workbook that I have, and she just did like 1 letter or 2 letters. She did the letter M and she did the letter N, and she just like practiced writing those letters in uppercase and lowercase. And one of the things that I noticed that is also tripping her up is understanding. The handwriting tablet has like the solid line at the top, the midline, and then the solid line at the bottom. She is still getting used to following where the letter is laid out in between those lines. That's why I switched it to just the worksheet. I feel like she needs more practice just like tracing. Since we finished all of our lessons like before 10 o'clock, we were able to go for a walk and go to the park and get outside. We finished at a really good time where it left us enough time to do other things that we needed to do. We weren't just like home all day studying. We've got 2 more days to go, and again, I think it's going pretty well in terms of learning what I like in a curriculum, what I need in a curriculum, how we need to plan our days. I also got notified by both Thrift Books and Book Outlet that the books that I ordered are coming in, so hopefully we get those soon. I'm gonna log off for the day and I'll check in with you guys again tomorrow. Good evening. It is the end of day 3 homeschool, and I just kind of wanted to go over what we did today with Ellie for school. Of course, we did the same routine of circle time, and you know, that went fine. I don't know if I need to make counting to 100 like a little bit more interesting for her because she definitely got kind of like bored with it by the time we got to maybe 50, like halfway through. She was just kind of like, this is taking a long time. And I was like, yeah, well, there's a lot of numbers that you need to learn. Maybe I need to come up with like a more creative way of counting to 100. But I definitely want to also make sure that I'm reviewing with her like counting by tens. But I think we'll get to that like at a later time. Today's music lesson was supposed to be Clair de Lune. Per the curriculum, they just want you to play the song for them and then ask them a bunch of questions regarding that song. But Ellie is such a interactive and visual learner, hands-on learner, so I was wanting to see if I could find a tracing map for Clair de Lune on YouTube, but unfortunately they did not have that particular song. So I was like, it's fine, no worries. It's just a matter of like introducing like a music lesson, right? It doesn't necessarily need to be on theme. So what we did instead was I played her a different song on YouTube. We did the musical tracing map of March of the Toreadors. This is by a different musician. That's the YouTube channel. And basically you can have your child either trace it with their finger on paper, ribbons, or a wand. Ellie just used her finger and I did it along with her. It's literally like a less than 3 minute song. Yeah, 2 minutes and 35 seconds. But she had a good time with it, and I felt like it was a good lesson on learning tempo and moving her body, as well as just getting familiar with classical music. But I do really like it, and I definitely want to continue doing those types of things with her because she had a lot of fun doing the tracing map. After that, the language arts portion was reading from 2 different poems and just learning rhyming sounds. I think that this did not go as well as I expected it would. I'm 34 years old, so in my brain, I already know what rhyming words are and I can easily just be like, yeah, that's what it is. And so when I'm teaching it to my 4-year-old daughter, who got her brain 4 years ago, I feel like me explaining rhyming sounds to her and throwing her a full-on poem and then being like, which ones are the rhyming sounds? You're kind of like, I don't know. She was getting very, again, overwhelmed and like confused by what I was asking her. I probably could have gone about this a better way where instead of giving her a full poem in the beginning, what I should have done is I think I should have already listed out a couple of rhyming words for her, explained to her what rhyming words are, how they sound, and like I think visually just show her like, oh, if we change this letter to this letter, it makes this word, but they sound the same still because of this last portion of the word. And I feel like when I just read her the poem and then asked her, which ones are the rhyming sounds? She was kind of like, what are you talking about? Even though I told her, rhyming words are words that sound the same. But I think for her, she still like was not understanding because I was like, I would read her the first line and the rhyming words are hall and wall. But the last word that I said was wall. And so when I said like, what is the rhyming words? She would say wall. And I'm like, great, what word rhymes with wall? And then she would go, wah. And I was like, oh, not quite. And so I had to do it several times. There's another part in here where I was like, okay, like this word says cat, but if we change out the C for a B, what does it say? And then she said bat. And I was like, okay, so you understand that. And so I was trying to explain to her, okay, cat and bat are rhyming sounds. Again, not the most successful because I just think that when I am doing the lesson according to what this curriculum is telling you to do, it's not it's not laid out for kindergartners. It is not like as accommodating. And then again, I'm not a teacher. I've never taught before, so I don't know how to teach kindergartners the proper way in terms of like a way that they will be easily able to grasp and understand the concept of what a rhyming word is. And then she did work a little bit in her writing tablet. She just like worked on her name. So I wrote her name down here for her. And then she attempted this one down here below it and she forgot her C. So she did try again, She is having trouble with like keeping to the midline and the bottom line section, but she's getting there. And I think as long as like we just keep practicing writing her name every day and then doing a couple of other like handwriting worksheets, she should be good. And then the last lesson that we did today was learning about the phases of the moon, and she did that with Matt after he got off work. And it was like after quiet time as well in the afternoon, because it involved cookies and I didn't want to give her that in the morning. Although the only other problem with that was that the moon set at like 2 in the afternoon. And so we did it like more around like 4 in the afternoon. So we weren't able to go outside and see what phase the moon was in today. I had to like look it up on my phone. So yeah, if we had done it in the morning, we would have seen it before the moon set, but it's fine. I think it was a fun activity for her because obviously it involved cookies. But yeah, we only have one more day left, which I'm excited about because I just feel like I have been overwhelming myself with so much homeschool talk and like homeschool curriculum and like researching course standards and researching every type of curriculum or like schedule or like morning rhythm, morning baskets, and I just feel like I am burnt out. So I'm really glad that tomorrow is like the last day of our like trial run. A couple of the things that I ordered from Book Outlet are some Tinker Active workbooks. I bought her a Tinker Active workbook from Winco. It was in like their bargain book section. It's a pre-K workbook for English, but they actually have a math one and a science one as well. And so I was trying to find it online. The only place that had it was Book Outlet. So I went ahead and I purchased it. And then they also had the kindergarten level Tinker Active book, but it was like the deluxe. So it came with all 3 subjects in one booklet. So I was like, I might as well grab that because it was only like $6 or something like that. So those Tinker Active books that are the pre-K level, those are the ones that I think I want to start working on with her. I think I'll probably work on like one project from each of those workbooks like every day with her, so that way we can still continue doing somewhat of like a school lesson along with circle time and obviously just like general reading. At least that way I'll have in my mind like, okay, we're getting through a workbook and like completing it, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'll let you guys know how that goes. I will check in with you guys tomorrow, the last day of the trial run. Good morning, happy Friday. We are taking a break from our first lesson. We already did circle time and we already did some sight words and a handwriting practice. Right now, Ellie's taking her little break. We just had our first lesson, which was pretty much like language arts handwriting. I read her this paragraph that has a bunch of facts about the sun, and I just had her circle all of the words that say sun. And afterwards, she counted all of the words that had it, and then she spelled it like 7 times because that's how many times it says the word sun. And then she also worked in her handwriting tablet and just practiced writing her name a couple of times. So now that she's having her outdoor time for a little while, when she comes back from outside, we're gonna do some of her counting cards together. I'm just gonna have her use the dry erase marker to select which number it matches to. So we actually skipped the lesson yesterday. It would have been yesterday, but we ended up doing it today because I forgot that Ellie has dance class on Thursday mornings. So right when we wake up, we have to do breakfast and I have to get Ellie ready for dance class and we have to be out the door by 9 o'clock. But yeah, I think Ellie is gonna be coming in a couple of minutes here. So I'll catch up with you guys later.
Mom, there's 4 like I'm 4.
4 like you're 4, huh?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Nice. How many Mercury planets do you see?
3.
3.
1, 2, 3.
Nice.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7. Nice, babe.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
15. Nice.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17.
16.
16.
Where's 16? Good job. Nice, honey, you did it.
I can put smiley faces.
Okay. Where is the sun?
The sun.
The sun. What does this word say?
The sun
Is
up
up high.
high. The sun is
Down
down.
low.
The sun is
Hiding.
hiding.
And what do you like about the daytime when the sun is out? What do you like about the daytime when the sun is out?
I like picking flowers.
Picking flowers, that's a fun one.
And picking leaves.
And leaves too. What do you like about nighttime when the sun goes down? What do you
I
like about
like-
nighttime?
I like doing campfires.
Campfires, yeah, me too.
Yeah, and marshmallows.
Marshmallows are super yummy,
But
huh?
Whoopi Daddy like marshmallows.
Well, he's too young to have marshmallows.
Yes.
Okay, hello. Good morning or afternoon. It's the afternoon. Okay, so I just got in my thrift books order, so I thought I would go ahead and I would open it up with you guys. I just want to get a first impression too of kind of, you know, what the teacher's guide shows. So this is a bundle of the Math with Confidence kindergarten workbooks. It has the instructor guide as well as the student workbook, and it was $42 off of thrift books, which is much cheaper than what they were selling it on Amazon. So if you were thinking about doing Math with Confidence with your kids, I would suggest looking at thrift books to see if they have it. So it does look like a lot of these things are, I think the layout of it is pretty similar to a lot of the workbooks that like we currently have. I think the difference is that because I have this instructor guide, I'll be able to talk her through it more and make sure that she's actually like retaining the information. Okay, so now that we are at the final end of the week, I thought I would just recap how I feel everything went. Today went significantly better than all the rest of the days. I feel like she was much more interested in sitting down for a lesson. I don't know if it's just because we had been doing it a couple of days already. By breaking it down and giving her breaks in between, like she didn't hesitate when I told her that it was time to come back inside for a lesson. She was like, I'm coming, and then she was already like coming straight to the door. So I feel like that's definitely that definitely worked for us. So I'm gonna keep doing that, where I'm giving her time to like play outside and giving her little breaks so it doesn't feel like she just has to sit down and listen the whole entire time. She really liked book club. I set up a little corner in our living room and I called it our book nook, and I said, this is where we'll do book club. And I got this idea off of someone probably on Instagram or TikTok. For Ellie, she's very much into like setting up a space like a fort. Like she really likes to have like a bunch of pillows and a lot of blankets, and like, you know, ideally she would like it to have like a roof over her with like some lights and stuff, but I was like, this is just like the book nook, and like this is where we're gonna read together. So that went really well, and I asked her some of the questions that were on the back of the book as well, and she was pretty good at being responsive. There was one question that involved rhyming, and I definitely think like we still need to work on that. So I definitely want to make sure that we are incorporating more lessons on rhyming words. I feel like I have plenty of time to slow things down and take it, you know, day by day. And again, I don't want to force her into lessons that feel like it's work for her. I still want to be more play-based with her. Like I said from the very beginning of this video, I'm pretty sure I said it like 10 minutes in, I don't think I'm going to be purchasing this curriculum that we had the sample off of. I do think that it's got really great ideas, but I think for first-time homeschoolers, it's not for me because I need something with a little bit more of guided instruction. Do I feel like now I have an idea of how our day-to-day homeschool should go? Yes. I think obviously we're going to be implementing English language arts and math every single day. We're probably going to implement like a loop schedule is what people call it, where we take science and like history or geography and then like art, and those will be things that we kind of rotate throughout the week, just to keep things a little bit like more interesting. I just want to keep implementing this schedule with her just so she gets used to the routine of it. And then hopefully by the time we start our formal curriculum, she will be more prepared and more interested in like sitting down and like learning a full complete lesson. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining me this week in my trial run of homeschool. I will definitely be continuing more trial runs like this, just like doing samples of other curriculums and just trying out my own schedule of curriculums before we actually start official kindergarten. I still have a lot to do to prepare for it. Like I still need to actually submit to the state a letter of an affidavit saying that we are going to be homeschooling. So that's still on my priority list of to-dos, but I still have some time to take care of that, so I'm not too worried about it. We are officially starting a homeschool, so if you are a homeschool parent who is either doing a homeschool with a kindergartner or has done homeschool with a kindergartner, please leave any of your curriculum tips or recommendations or like routines. I'm very curious to know like what other people's like homeschool routines are and how it works for them. I know, like I said, a lot of people that homeschool at the kindergarten level, they say a lot of the learning is through play. It's just learning through day-to-day experiences throughout the house as well, and like giving them their responsibilities in the house, which is something that I also want to be implementing with Ellie as well. I am interested to know what other people are doing so that I can kind of like take little bits and pieces and like implement them into our schedules. So yeah, thank you so much for watching my video. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe because it really supports my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.